What is going on, everybody? Nasdorachi coming back at you again today for another episode of Dragon Ball Legends. Just like we had talked about in my previous video, like 20-ish or less hours ago, the new Ultra Space-Time Summon 17 has dropped in the game. 4 new characters, the Transforming Cooler, the Transforming Frieza, as well as Shishami, and a new EX second form Frieza. We'd already covered most of the basics in the previews with them. Today, we have the banner in full effect. It's launched in the game with a couple of updates. We're going to go over everything important, as well as the new characters. I'm going to try and keep it as quick as I can, you guys. So let's jump right in. We're going to start with the news here and just thumb through everything that's important. So the first and foremost thing is that to get the tickets for your free summons on the new USTS 17, you just have to keep farming the same spirit energy we've been doing for the 30 million campaign already. That's fairly convenient. It makes things easy enough. We just keep doing what we've already been doing, and no awkward transitions or anything crazy there. As well, there is a new Ultimate Transformation Final Form Cooler event, very similar to the Kid Buu event that just came out when he dropped. They're doing the same thing for Cooler. It's going to have 50 stages to get your 10th star title, to get the 1,000 Chrono Crystals. But something that's a little bit different for this one is they're actually introducing a 51st stage that's even tougher, and you get a special title here, Strongest in the Universe, if you're able to clear that final stage. 2 new pieces of equipment coming in this event. The Wait one on the bottom seems like the better one to me overall because it's less restrictive and it gives better offensive buffs. This one can go up to 15% if you get a perfect roll on it, and the other one will go up to 18% with a perfect roll, and again, it's less restricted, so I like that better. So Final Form Cooler event, again, the final stages won't be available until I think the 11th of this month, so no reason to really rush through it yet. We can't get those Chrono Crystals or those final titles yet. Other than that, we already knew the new banner is here. The sales are kind of meh, just like for most Ultra Space Time summons, it's full price sales, but with boosted amounts of Chrono Crystals. I usually never ever buy those, you guys, but I did get the $8 guaranteed sparking ticket pack, so we'll definitely be doing that summon here in a little bit. Let's see what we get, and maybe we'll do like 1 or 2 multis, you guys, but overall, I kind of have mixed feelings on this banner, and it's that same format that we just saw for USTS 16, where you can like randomly get bonus Z powers every time you summon. Really not a huge fan of that. I like the 999 banner format much better. We've covered most everything new. Daily login bonus. Yeah, there's new login bonuses. The sales there. There was one obscure piece of news that I saw down here, like below some of the new stuff. They dropped this right here, which is kind of curious, you guys. 10 days only. Available starting November 7th. Choose an Ultra Space Time Summon number 17 new extreme character Z Power in the daily login bonus. However, to select a Z Power, you have to have, cleared main story part 1, which is easy, but you must have at least 100 Z Power for that character in advance. For the brand new characters, if you don't get 100 Z Power, do you just not get to pick anything? I'm kind of curious about this, you guys. I never really noticed this, or I haven't seen anyone else talking about it either. But I found it to be fairly curious, and I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. Hopefully we can all benefit from this, and it's not as restrictive as it seems, where it says you have to have the unit in advance to select anything. Maybe it'll just give you a random one if you don't have the unit 100 Z power in advance. I don't know. We'll find out, you guys. I'll definitely keep you posted on that. Other than that, I don't think that there's too much new to talk about. Ultra Space Time Rush has transitioned back to the tickets we were getting for that specific Rush banner that has Super Vegito on it, so no more tickets for the Step Up, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is, you guys. Hopefully everyone did get lucky on the Kid Buu Step Up banner. Alright, I think that's about it for the news. Of course, if I missed anything, let me know down below, you guys. We're going to go check out the actual summons themselves and the new characters, then we'll throw a few summons maybe at this banner here. So checking out the featured characters here, as you can see up here, it's that same format as last time, like I mentioned earlier, which is really quite obnoxious. I do not like it, you guys. I don't. So we've got the Cooler there, pretty, reasonable art. Frieza has comparable art. They're just kind of standing in a little bit different pose and facing opposite directions. Still, I do like it. And it seems like they both have potentially different... Yeah, they have different special moves before and after transformation, which is neat enough. Metal coolers on the banner. Oh, that Goku. No thank you for Pod Frieza either. Or this cooler. We'll take that second form Frieza. He looks neat. And Shashami here as well. Alright, so the banner itself doesn't look super enticing. The new units are what you want to aim for. And then maybe one more metal cooler for me. But he's on the Masters Pack 3, so it's kind of painful seeing him here. Let's check out the cooler real quick. He's probably going to have a special move that's identical to the green sparking cooler. And as we've already kind of seen, after transformation, his animations are identical to the other cooler we have in the game. So yep, that is as well identical there, you guys. They pretty much copy-pasted the currently existing 4th and 5th form coolers and just kind of stuck them together here. The only thing fresh and new about them is the actual transformation animation mid-battle. Other than that, everything else is identical, you guys. I'm assuming it's going to be the same for Frieza, but I don't know, maybe they'll do a finger laser here or a death ball. I guess we'll have to find out. It's going to be that same death ball that the original sparking yellow final form Frieza does. And it's going to transition here, and we already saw this as well. I don't know why I even clicked that button, but it's going to transition over into that kind of angled slice. Yep. Alright, so really nothing new on the animations, you guys. As well, let me know how you feel about that down in the comments also. I'm kind of disappointed in it, but it's also something that we have seen before for Ultra Space Time units. It seems like they obviously save some of the more special stuff for the more exclusive banners. And in the spirit of that, I do recommend that you guys don't go too crazy on this banner with Black Friday up and coming here at the kind of middle end of the month. So that's definitely something you really want to keep in consideration for your budget, unless you are super wealthy. I don't know why I keep doing that. We're going to quickly check out the stats and the spread here before and after transformation. Brings a yellow, transforming warrior, lineage of evil. Oh, stats. 108, 103. Alright, after transformation, 117, 112, but extremely high defenses. Almost 100,000 on his blast defense and 95k on the strike defense. That's quite good. He is a defense type, unlike the strike type of the other cooler. So I guess that makes sense. Kind of lower attack stats, but really good defense. Alright, arts cards here. The Death Beam. +5 to substitution count. That's good enough. Most of the time when you see debuffs on blue cards, it's not very good because the enemy can always swap out of them. But if you see just kind of generic buffs, it's a little bit better. Unlock key form of attack, 20% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. This is not very good on his green card. Even after transformation, restoring the key by 35% and 20% to strike damage inflicted. The other cooler would also transform any yellow cards into red cards, but I guess because this one's a defense type and doesn't specialize in one card type, it wouldn't really make sense to put that on his green card. But still, it's not quite that great. I don't know. Definitely after transformation it's a lot better, but I don't know, 20%. I guess you can stack it a couple times. 15 timer counts though. I don't know. We've seen better green cards. Supernova deals major explode damage, inflicts enemy attribute downgrade 5 to substitution count for 15 timer counts, cannot be nullified by most other special moves. Yeah, really at this point, it's going to be very similar to the other Final Form cooler. He cannot teach this to Shallot either, but animation-wise, very similar, you guys. You'll be the first and the last to witness this form. It's going to be his main ability in base form. It will transform him into final form cooler and draws a green card next. It's interesting because his green cards aren't particularly crazy, but it's still helpful, I guess. 28% to tag lineage of evil base strike defense during battle. And at 5 stars, it will upgrade to include sagas from the movies as well. Or I said strike attack, or did I say strike defense? It's strike defense, but at 5 stars, it will upgrade to include movies. However, it's only a single buff category. Like, it's only strike defense. It doesn't upgrade to double buff, which is unfortunate. But, I don't know, you guys. I still think Cooler's probably the better of the two for this banner. But it really, I guess, depends on what you need. Unique ability, Another Emperor, applies the following effects itself when the battle begins. Nullify abnormal conditions up to 2 times. Gradually restore his own health. Each timer count for 40 timer counts. This is okay for dodging feints and paralyzes, and I guess the gradual health regeneration will combo okay with his second main ability. Wicked Pride applies the following effects to self when the character enters the battlefield, reduces his damage taken by 20% for 10 counts, and 30% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. So it seems like he does actually favor strike attack here. After transformation, your hell begins now. Draw another special arts card, restores his own health by 25%, increases arts card draw speed by 1 level for 40 timer counts. It's a good little time limit on that card draw speed. Unfortunately, no ultimate arts attack. He will have the heal, the card draw buff, a green card. It's an okay main ability. I mean, for a defense type, you can't expect but so much. Z ability won't change. Ultimate Transformation restores his own Vanishing Gauge by 40% when the enemy switches characters while this character's on the field. That's not bad at all, 40%. You can make good use of that. Try and leave him out longer than what you normally would, and make advantage of multiple vanishes to try and like bait people out. Applies the following effects to self per defeated LOE or Sagas from the Movies battle members. That's cool that it works for either tag. 25% to damage inflicted, so it'll cap at 50%. Reduces damage received by 10% for 10 timer counts. That one probably won't stack unless you lose 2 members within 10 seconds, which would be unfortunate. But the permanent 25% to damage inflicted makes him a reasonably decent anchor character. It means he'll be at 50% damage buffed again when he's last alive. Time to have some fun. Applies the following effects when this character enters the battlefield. Reduces damage received by 20% again. 30% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. The following effects occur after enemy attack is over. An additional 25% to his damage inflicted, and 25% to the same thing, but allied, LOE, or movies characters for 20 counts as well. So if he takes damage, you let the combo expire, you swap into somebody else of these 2 tags, I guess they'll get a nice little supportive buff there too. It's just weird, you have to be attacked for it to trigger. So very interesting. Again, for a USTS character, he's not overwhelming or really amazing or game-breaking, but I do feel like he'll be useful for replacing the purple Chilled that is currently on the team, and there's no really viable alternative to that Chilled. Now there is, so hopefully it works out well. Red Final Form Frieza here is contending with Metal Cooler for a spot on the team. Metal Cooler actually has held his relevancy pretty well. He's got good defensive numbers. His green card that destroys cards is pretty useful, and he's got the team heal. So there's definitely, you know, some lack of damage coming from him, but at the same time, he makes up for it in other areas, support and usefulness, utility-wise. Before transformation, 117, 111, he is a strike-based character. Defense is at 80k, 79k, brings 2 reds, and reliable tags there as to what we'd expect. After transformation, almost 150k strike attack, 130k blast, and 87, 86k on the defenses there. That's really not bad, but you do have to take into consideration that this transformation only lasts like 45 timer counts, so understandable that it's a little bit more powerful, because you're not going to be able to use it for too long. Kind of like Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, or even less time than him, maybe. Alright, arts cards. Before transformation, he's got the Death Ball, we covered that. 15% to strike damage received. This is one of the buffs I mentioned earlier, where you hit the enemy with this, it's cool, they're taking extra damage, but they can swap out of it and let the buff expire. So this one's not super useful. You'd rather something with like a utility effect, or something that is going to buff your own damage output. But still, it could always be worse. It's buffing his main damage archetype there. Unlock Key Form of Life, restores on health by 10% and a 10% damage buff for 15 timer counts. This will be hard to stack to make good use of the damage buffs, but the repeatable 10% heal is actually quite nice. We've seen that on the characters like the original Red Super Saiyan Sparking Vegeta, and it's great sustain for him. Just like Super Saiyan Bardock, I think, does the same thing. Very useful. Time to step it up, transform into Golden Frieza, which unfortunately again only lasts for 45 timer counts, restores his own health by 20%. So you combo that with some green cards, and you could realistically see between this main and 3 green cards, getting 50% of his health back there, which is actually pretty useful. 28% to Lineage of Evil based strike attack, 35% to tag Lineage of Evil or Frieza Force strike attack. So he's not having any synergy on movies. They're not considering him a Resurrection of F unit here. That's important to note. Unique ability, Payback for the Humiliation. When this character enters the battlefield, following effects are applied if there's other LOE or Frieza Force members besides this Frieza. 35% to his strike damage inflicted, 30% to ki recovery. Before transformation, this is really his only way to buff himself, which is, again, pretty unfortunate. I mean, you can stack the 10% on the green cards, 35% to strike damage on this buff when he enters the battlefield. That's unfortunate. He doesn't have really good damage buffs at all before he transforms, and for a melee type, that's kind of not super great. Applies the following effects to LOE or Frieza Force and character switch to standby. They will get 20% to their damage inflicted against tagged Saiyans, 20% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. So 40% damage in total strike against Saiyan. That's pretty good right there. Again, you won't always be playing against Saiyans, so it might be 20%, but it's a reasonable supporting ability there, which is unusual a bit for a melee type character. Alright, going back to the arts, after transformation, he will have that Death Slicer again. 25% to special move damage activated upon usage for 10 seconds. That's very useful right there. Again, buffs his own damage. And 100% chance to inflict heavy bleed on hit. So this super move, much better than the Death Ball that he originally starts off with. Extreme Flash, 20% to strike damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. Changes own Blast Arts cards to Strike Arts, kind of like the... This is actually kind of like the original blue Final Form Cooler's green card right here. They just gave it to Frieza this time. But it's unfortunate that he does lose that ability to heal. However, very useful card for kind of maximizing his damage output there. No ashes left to bury. Draw a blue card next. -5 to own Strike Arts for 30 timer counts. 25% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. He can use it 10 seconds after he retransforms. Again, similar to the yellow transforming Gohan there. 28% to tag Lineage of Evil. That doesn't change. We don't need to read that again. But yeah, alright. His main ability there is pretty good. It's a nice little way to stack some damage on him. Payback for the Humiliation. 15% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Anytime a Goku swaps in or the Golden Frieza swaps in to a Goku matchup. When this character enters the battlefield, effects are applied to self. Again, if he has got other LOE or Frieza Force members on his team. 50% to strike damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. 40% to ki recovery for 20 timer counts. That's actually really good right there, you guys. And it stacks really well with his other buffs. Again, you just have to keep in mind that you're going to have to do all this stuff relatively quickly with this Frieza, again, because he's not going to stay at this high level of output for very long when it comes to a battle. Emperor's Lust for Vengeance applies the following effects to LOE or Frieza Force units when this character is switched out. Again, it's the same thing there. 20% to Saiyan damage inflicted, 20% to strike damage in general. So 40% to damage inflicted to Saiyans for 15 timer counts. Extra 5 timer counts on that last 20% as well. A new little passive pops in here though. Applies the following effects to self until transformation ends. Reduces all damage received by 20%, which cannot be cancelled. And plus an additional 30% to damage inflicted against Goku, which cannot be cancelled. Reduces own ki by 100 when transformation ends. So no matter what, you're going to end up with 0 ki when his transformation ends, which is actually one of the most detrimental detransforming debuffs that we've seen in the entire game so far. That's pretty much it with the new sparkings, you guys. We'll quickly look at the new EX units here, although they didn't look super overwhelming in the news when I checked them out there. They're still worth a glance. I just don't want to take up too much time here. That's a pretty cool new animation right there. I don't think the other second form Frieza uses that move, but again, I could be wrong. I don't actually use him at all. 118, 107 on the attack for a melee type. It's a little bit low compared to Frieza's 145k, but EX unit, I guess it's understandable. Stats aren't really that terrible. The defenses are maybe a little bit low there. Brings 2 red cards though. Death Storm inflicts major explode damage. Downgrade 15% to damage received. Again, that's a buff they can swap out of. This is an area of effect blue card as well, so use it like you would use like Janemba or someone like that. Torrential Key, lower defense, inflicts enemy with a tribute downgrade, 20% of damage received for 20 timer counts. It's not super great. Again, it can be subbed out of. I've decided 50% of strike damage inflicted for 20 counts, inflicts all enemies with 5 substitution timer counts. You can use it after 15 seconds. It's okay. The 50% of strike damage buff is really good, and that will also help frustrate their attempts to swap around. So you could probably make pretty good use of that. 19% to LOE-based strike attack. It upgrades to strike and blast attack when you get him to 5 stars. So that means no matter what, he's going to be a pretty reliable bench for your LOE teams. Power level control applies the following effects to self once 20 counts have elapsed from the battle start. 30% to his damage inflicted, -5 to red card cost, and restores his health by 15%. Not really super substantial buffs by themselves, but combine that 30% with the 50% to his main, you're at 80% buff damage there with reduced cost and a little bit of a heal. Again, it's actually not that bad. Which one of you gets to die first while this character is on the field? The following effects are applied to all enemies when he switches out of the field. They are inflicted with a tribute downgrade +5 to their arts card cost for 10 seconds, and they are inflicted with a tribute downgrade 20% to damage received for 20 timer counts. Again, I don't know, he's okay, you guys. LOE doesn't really have the best EX units right now, and this guy's definitely usable, I will say that. Checking out Shashami here real quick. I haven't seen his blue card yet either. Oh, it's like a bull charge there, I guess. And a back break. Kind of like the green Android 13 almost, but a little bit different. I mean, 14. Sorry. A little bit different, but similar-esque to that. Which does leave him kind of wide open to yellow card hits when he's charging in. So you do want to keep that in mind. 117k, 102k on the 2 attacks with 75k, 73k. Kind of similar stat spread as to the Frieza we just looked at, but maybe his is a little bit worse. But brings 2 red cards, nothing out of the ordinary there. He is a green unit, so you have to be careful. Bull Crash, 15% to strike damage inflicted for 10 seconds. This is a little bit of a better buff because it gives him a damage buff as opposed to giving the enemy a debuff they can swap out of. Unlock key, Rapid Strike form, destroys all of your Blast Arts cards. Draw a Strike Arts card next. This is not a very good green card, I wouldn't say, you guys. It's very conditional. Like, you're not just going to want to just destroy your cards, especially if they have Dragon Balls on them. So this is kind of something you'd use at the end of a combo once you've already played your hand out, or if you just happen to not have any yellow cards in your hand. But it doesn't give you any damage buffs on it whatsoever. So again, that's what I'm saying. It's probably not the best card. It actually kind of can set you up in some disadvantaged situations there. Main ability, draw a Strike Arts card next. 30% to strike damage inflicted for 30 counts. -10 to own Strike Arts cost for 30 counts. Kind of similar to the purple Final Form Bojack or Full Power Bojack that we just saw. Just a little bit of a kit based around buffing his strike damage there. 19% to Frieza Force, base strike attack, or element green. If you get him to 5 stars, he'll also buff green, which is interesting there, but Frieza Force will not be going anywhere. Applies the following effects to self upon landing a red card. 15% to strike damage inflicted for 20 counts. 15% to special move damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. So in that regard, he's actually kind of like the EX Nail there, where every time he's using cards and stuff, he's buffing himself. Monstrous Proficiency, 10% to strike damage inflicted for 10 counts every time a Strike Arts card is drawn while this character is on the battlefield. That one's going to be kind of interesting right there. I wonder what kind of buffs you'll honestly be able to stack on this guy before it just gets too out of hand, or, you know, you start running out of time and you can't keep up. Alright, you guys, that's all of the new units. I'm super tired, so let's just get through this and see what happens. We'll do the guaranteed ticket. Like 1 or 2 multis, though I'm really torn about just saving them for the upcoming stuff around the holidays, you guys. I really don't want to make a heavy investment on this banner, but we'll get at least 1,000 back from the cooler event. But again, that could be 1,000 that we saved, and spent and got that back too. I don't know, you guys. We'll at least do one multi here. It'll take us down to 27, whatever, remaining CC. I do hope you guys were incredibly lucky on your summons. We did just see Mercenary Tau there. But again, there's lots of old rubbish on this banner. And that's probably what we're looking at here, you guys. How unfortunate. Super Saiyan 3 animation, though, with Tau. That makes things a little bit better, you guys. Our odds of seeing something new might, maybe, but I don't know. I'm not gonna hold my breath. Probably gonna look at like the old green cooler here. Hey! Well, I said cooler. It's first summon. We got the new green cooler straight out the gate. Mercenary Tau and Super Saiyan 3 combining to make a reasonably good animation there, you guys. Wow, okay. And remember, we still got tickets we can earn for this banner also. It's almost a little bit too easy. Some EX units here. Another Thouser. Okay. Okay, you guys. Well, that went actually pretty well. I don't think I'm going to spend any more actual Chrono Crystals on this banner. Only because ooh, long press. Oh, I kind of like that little shake they did there. Alright. His card art seems pretty dang good, and he was the unit that I was more interested in picking up just for his color. So I really can't be that upset, you guys. Definitely going to train him up. And again, what was my freebie there? I didn't even see what my freebie was. Maybe it'll tell me in summon history. Alright, again, probably not going to waste another multi there, you guys. Let's check out this ticket. If we're lucky, if we're really lucky, we'll pick up Frieza on this ticket. We would have to be real lucky. Of course, Dragon Ball Scatter. Again, we know it's guaranteed, so Bojack, Bardock. Oh, Bardock! No, come on, y'all. What? I was going to say Bardock and Trunks are the only sign of salvation here. So we're either looking at a 3-star cooler or a 2-star of each of the new units, you guys. Either way, I'm not too upset. Oh, alright, we got the 3-star cooler. Okay, well, it upgrades the Z ability a little bit there. No Frieza for now, you guys. But again, we do have plenty of tickets. We can get through 2 sets of guaranteed summons. We'll see what happens after that. But I'm going to go train up this cooler here, you guys. Apparently the game really wanted me to have him. And again, I do hope that you guys had amazing luck. Anything that I forgot to mention, definitely leave down in the comments below. And also just let me know what your general thoughts are on this banner and what your plans are for budgeting your Chrono Crystals. You save them for the holidays, or are you a huge LOE fan and you're going in ham a little bit here? Again, definitely let me know down below. I won't hold you guys up any longer. So again, passing all my remaining luck on to you guys. Hopefully you pull some fire. Other than that, if you liked the video, consider giving it a thumbs up. Stayed up nice and late to get this one done, so I appreciate each and every like and share on the video, you guys. If you're new here, consider subscribing, and I will definitely be seeing you again very soon. Maybe we'll do a test run on this cooler or check out some of the boss stages. I still have one more challenge rush I need to do, and we kind of have to figure out where these units place in the kind of tier meta structure already. So we'll get to work, you guys. We'll see you again soon. Have a great morning. Peace out. And yeah, that's about it. It's a wrap. Later.